I'm going to bring our next guest. Our next guest is Zondra Evans. Zondra is coming to us all the way from Texas, and she is the host of Zondra TV network. And she's going to be talking today about some foundational principles that is required to navigate your life journey. Please help me welcome Zondra Evans. Zondra, are you there? Here you go. Hello.
I am here. How are you?
I am good.
Thank you.
Take it away, Zondra.
All right. Thank you so much, Christy. Every time that you ask me to do anything, I'm always like, okay, no matter what's going on. And I have tons of meetings today, but I'm really happy to be here and to share with you all kind of a concept around the power. But let me tell you who I am first. I am a woman of great valor. I am a woman of integrity. I'm extremely passionate about everything that I do. And I've made a conscious decision to serve the universe as a servant leader. So again, my name is Zondra Evans. I'm the founder and owner of Zondra TV Network here in Dallas, Texas. And what I do is I showcase small businesses on local, national, and global TV in your area locally, by the way, because we're talking to folks maybe in California. So let me talk about today the power of choice, because I think that oftentimes, we don't really understand that when we are going through a transformation, that it becomes extremely critical that you understand the power of choice. So when I think about it, and if I had a presentation that I shared, visibly that you all could see, one of the things that I believe is that let's take a blue rose. A blue rose is nothing that is common. And so our beliefs and the power to create or destroy your ability to succeed in life actually has to do with your mindset. Transformation can be as foreign as a blue rose. We're conditioned to see red roses, yellow roses, white roses. But when a blue rose appears, it's kind of like, oh, it's beautiful, but it's not common. You've got to be willing to step out of being just common in order to serve the world, the genuine, authentic you. Once you really start addressing your limited belief system, then and only then will you start to soar. So let me go on and talk about, the universe, because I think it's important that we kind of start from ground zero. It's easy to say, oh yeah, this or that, or, whatever. But I want to start at what I call ground zero, and that is the universe. I believe that you have to make a conscious decision on who you're going to serve. Who will you serve? I could tell you, for me, in my business, in my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So when I think about everything that I do, that's ground zero for me. Like, how is it going to edify the kingdom? Because I've made that choice. Once you make that choice in the universe, then you can start to make choices about things like, we jump in too soon and say, oh, who am I going to serve and how am I going to serve? And really, it's about who you will serve. Answer that first question in the universe. Then you can begin to ask the other questions as you begin your journey into transformation. The second thing is, what principles will I operate by? Because you have to have a set of principles, especially I'm a business owner. I'm sure that people that are listening are not just business owners, but you're also maybe in corporate America. Either way, maybe you don't even work and you're trying to figure out your journey. You have to understand who and how, your principles of how you will operate. What are your principles? Oftentimes, we are born in this world with a set of core values and principles. And never do we think that as we grow up as adults, that we have to actually maybe challenge those values and principles and then create those new values for ourselves that will really make a difference. And then the third thing is the essence of you. And that's when you get down to answer the question, how will I serve? How will I do what I do? No matter what you're doing, you're probably in some capacity to serve another. So the third question is the essence of you. How will you serve? So that's the fundamental choices. So we've went through a couple of things. We've talked about the universe, we've talked about the foundational principles, and then we've talked about the essence of you. Because at the end of the day, you are the most valuable asset and the true resource in this whole formula. You can't leave you out of it. And so it's important that you do what you need to do, but it starts at ground zero. So I want to talk a little bit about, the breakthrough to transformation. And I always like to weave in a story because I think it really helps people to understand that everybody goes through transformation. And so if I think about myself serving 40 years in corporate America and getting what I call the golden handshake, I like to refer to it as the golden handshake. Why? Because I was laid off. But layoff kind of sounds, when people talk about being laid off, they're like, oh my, it's devastating. So when I did get the golden handshake, I was wondering why other people were crying, but yet I was skipping down the hall. And the reason being is because I had developed an exit strategy in the good times. Part of your transformation is to prepare yourself. We're transforming and shaping and forming every single day of our life. And that's the glory in the story. But I had developed an exit strategy. Because I had developed that exit strategy years before I got the golden handshake, all I needed to do was blow the dust off of that exit strategy and begin to execute. Everybody needs an exit strategy. So as you begin your breakthrough to transformation, you got to really take inventory of your life. And a lot of times we don't like to do that. And I tell people, this is my saying, this is my core belief, because when I start to take inventory of my life and really understand who am I and why am I here, I found that there were a couple of times a day that I would ask that question to myself. And it was when I was brushing my teeth in the morning and at night. I would be looking in the mirror. And when you ask the question, who are you and why are you here? At first, you're going to hear stuff like, don't forget to take the dry cleaning to the cleaners. Don't forget to pick up spaghetti for dinner tomorrow. You'll hear those things. But if you become in tune with your heart, your mind, and your spirit, and ask that question, here's my core belief. It's the one or two times a day that you are standing in front of a mirror. Your eyes are piercing back into the window of your soul. Your ears are open and your mouth is closed so that you could hear. If you continue to ask that, you're going to hear a small voice that'll tell you really who you are and why you're here. And sometimes when you hear that, it will scare you to death because you're starting to think, that's who I am. That's why I'm here. Oh, how will I serve the universe? The genuine, authentic me. We've gotten caught up so much in trying to mimic and to be someone else. This is your time to shine. Ask the question a couple of times a day. So take inventory of your life. Your belief system, when you begin this whole transformation journey, I promise you, you are going to have to challenge your belief system because we are walking around every single day with extremely limited beliefs. Why? And because we can't see ourselves doing that. We can't really believe that we have everything inside of us to do that thing. You got to be able to define where you're heading. There's going to be ebbs and flows like anything else. In business, it's ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're making a lot of money. Sometimes you're making no money. Sometimes you're making a little money. Ebbs and flows are just the way life works. Beautiful, beautiful. Ebbs and flows. Embrace that in your process. Transformation must be managed. So a lot of us like to talk about we're not leaders. Do you realize that you are a leader? You are a leader. The mere fact that you get up every day and do that thing I talked about, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you take a shower, you get in your car, you make strategic decisions on what you're going to do. We're all leaders. You have to manage transformation just like you manage your life, because after all, it is your life. Your staircase will represent opportunities and challenges as you go through this. Now, when I think about the staircase, I want to tell you a little story. I actually believed for a long, long time that we are on our path to our destiny, that we are, when you figure out who you are and why you're here, then this is my destiny. I'm walking in my divine destiny. But you know what? God showed me something. And I have been really crusading to tell everybody that I know that destiny is not just a path, like I'm walking it and it's a flat, ground surface. And yeah, maybe there's a few hills to climb. That is not true destiny. Destiny is like rungs on a ladder. Destiny is like a staircase. Every step you take gets you closer to the landing. What is the landing for you? So destiny is like rungs on the ladder. And with each level of destiny, it will require a different level of faith, a different level of understanding, a different level of transformation, a different level of test. So you have to reframe your mindset about what is destiny, right? There's going to be opportunities, but yet there's also going to be challenges. So another thing I want you to know is as you begin your transformation, everybody can't accompany you. Everybody can't go because everybody can't do what you do. You are uniquely and wonderfully made. Everybody won't be able to go with you. So you're going to have to shake some things off. You're going to have to shake some people off. And so know that, this is your journey and it's up to you to really appreciate this journey that you're on. Now, I talked a little bit about mindset, but I really want to shift the energy around the power of the mind. You see, our mind is the most powerful thing. I think there is a cliche, that a mind is a terrible thing to lose, right? That's where our power resides. But do you know what's happening for most of us? Even for some of you that are listening today, you're partly listening. You're probably doing something else as you're listening. And so your mind has a lot of clutter in it. It just does. It has belief systems that are actually combating each other. There's thoughts that are actually combating each other. Your mind is full of clutter. It is up to you to still the mind. There's only one way to really still your mind. And the way you do that is about being deliberate and courageously intentional. What do I mean by that? We talk about intentional, and we have used that term so much. I'm being intentional about what I do. Really? We're all intentional. The mere fact that we're still here and that we're operating and that we're doing the things that we're doing, that is intent. We have intent to do the best job. But being courageously intentional is when you step into unknown territory and that you're willing to challenge the norm state. You're willing to challenge your mindset. You're willing to step into your greatness at any cost. I often tell people, if you are struggling, 15 minutes of quiet time, start once a month. How about that? Just once a month, be courageously intentional enough to schedule quiet time. Schedule that quiet time. I don't no phones, no music, no noise, no pets, no just nothing. Schedule that time with you because why? You're the most valuable asset and the true resource. You are the commodity. Therefore, you have to invest in you. Here's the thing. Most people say, well, I don't know if I could do that. There's so much trepidation that happens. And I just ask people to think about every time there's trepidation and fear and things and anxiety that comes up in your mind, ask yourself this question. What is the best case scenario and what is the worst case scenario? And I guarantee you the best case scenario almost wins out every time. I don't want you to ask it in fear. I want you to ask best case, worst case. Most oftentimes, best case will win. I also think that we have to start reframing failure into opportunity. Because you know what? Everything that we have defined as failure today has really been an opportunity for you to be better. It's an opportunity for you to engage and be something different and do something different. So let's redefine failure into really opportunity. The next thing about the power of the mind and where greatness resides is in you, is that you have to fortify your faith because it takes faith to do anything that maybe you've not done before. Let me tell you a little story. When I left corporate America, after 40 years, that's something I was comfortable with. If anybody knows how to get a seat at the boardroom table and operate and really know how to bring my point across, it would be me. Now, I'm not bragging. It's just fact. I spent 40 years and I learned and I took in and I got called being aggressive because I'm a African American woman that has a point to be said. I've had all the challenges in corporate America, but here's when I left there. I really left there thinking I am going to live the dream. I mean, I'm going to live the dream. I love to coach and mentor people. So in my exit strategy years before, I got certified as a life leadership and transformation coach because I was like, I love to coach people. I love to help people to recognize their true power and then how to ignite that power so that they can live the life they deserve. So I was going to be a life coach. I still am, and I still have clients. I also wanted to write a book. And so I have written a book, The Power of Investing in You. It's out there on Amazon. Beautiful thing. And I wanted to be on larger stages with a mic in my hand. It's nothing better to me. Give me an audience and a mic in my hand, and I will soar. I want to motivate people from the stage. But little did I know that I would end up having a different type of stage, not one that I thought that I really wanted or needed, actually. But God said, you can have a choice, Zondra. You could either have a mic in your hand in front of thousands, or I'll put a mic around your neck in front of millions. Which do you choose? And I had to make that choice, knowing nothing about TV, knowing nothing about streaming TV technology. But God, He was my manager and my instructor because He taught me everything I needed to know. I'm telling you that story because I want you to know that when you really decide to serve the world, the universe, The true, authentic you, the way that you do it, the how that you do it, are you willing to take that faith walk and fortify your faith in order to become greater? Because again, greatness resides in you and it's itching to come out, but you think you have to deliver it in a common way. We have gotten to be so common. Stop being common. You're more than common. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Stop being common. Step into the unknown territory. I promise you, some of your greatest glory is in the story of stepping outside of what you consider to be norm. The second thing is, if you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want is going to take over. Believe me. I'm going to say it again. If you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will take over. And last but not least, like I said, there are levels of destiny. Be okay with that. I can tell you that for the first 3.5 years of being out of corporate America, I thought because I accepted the call on my life to be in TV, that I was on my road to destiny until I got a vision one day and I saw a ladder on the side of a house and I was actually like in the grass on the ground. And that's when I understood that there's levels of destiny. And so accept your levels of destiny and know that sometimes you have to march in place. I always tell people, forward march. When you think about the military, and we've seen a lot of military, marching in place and, in the being led by the trooper, right? And he's doing his call out. He'll say forward march. And then he may say, march in place. And so sometimes we have to march in place on that rung of the ladder of our destiny. And that's okay to march in place before the next call out is made. Be comfortable to march in place on your levels of destiny. Now, I want to talk about what's stopping you. Because you know what? And everybody won't talk about fear, And so a lot of times I had an interview one time and somebody was asking me about fear. And, well, everybody says it's fear is what's stopping us. And I said, yeah, probably because we believe that fear really means false evidence appearing real. We've been taught that. In fact, I used to think that until I heard my great mentor, Les Brown. And I'm asking you, what's stopping you today? And if it is fear, I would love for you to reframe your mindset about what fear really is. Fear means face everything and rise. And if you make no decision, do you realize that is the decision? A lot of times we actually are like, oh, I'm going to delay my decision. I'm not going to make it now. Oh, I'm thinking about it. That is the decision. It's either yes or no. But we have to become really firm and strong in our conviction to what? Who do I serve? Who do you serve? No just means no. And there's a way to give a gracious no. Learn that because no decision is the decision. Now, I want to talk about energy a little bit because, everybody wants to talk about, oh, energy. Oh, your energy. A lot of people always tell me, oh, you're just radiating. Your energy is contagious. How many of y'all have heard that? I know that you've heard that your energy, you're contagious, right? I don't know if that's a good word to use given that we're in a COVID-19 state, but, yeah, your energy. But the thing that I want to share with you today is that there are only two types of energy. Now, we think about that. If you think about how energy from the wall is conducted, it's positive and negative. And so when I said that, because your mindset, you said, oh yeah, she getting ready to go positive to negative. No, I want to introduce to you a new concept, and I really would like for you to jot this down. There are two types of energy when it comes to people. You're either in anabolic energy or you are in catabolic energy. Anabolic is spelled Anabolic, and catabolic energy is spelled Cabolic, catabolic and anabolic energy. Now, catabolic energy is where fear, stress, worry, doubt, all of that lives in catabolic energy. And here's the thing, 95% of the world is living in catabolic energy. Because right now, half of us probably are afraid. I don't want to get COVID. I'm scared. That's catabolic energy. Oh, I can't do that. I've never spoke on stage. Catabolic energy. But what we have come to do is to actually give life to catabolic energy in a way that feels good. So I'm going to use one word: procrastination. Now, procrastination sounds like, oh, you wait to the last minute. Let me tell you what procrastinators will do. They'll turn it around. And you know what they'll say? I love this. I love to work under pressure. And so this presentation that's due tomorrow, I'd rather work on it today and be under pressure because I work best under pressure. How many of us have said that? I know that we have. Guess what? That is trying to create procrastination to be a benefit and an asset, but it's truly catabolic energy. Reframe your mindset. The reason why we wait to the last minute to get it done, because half of the time we're worried about if I'm doing a presentation, what they gonna say, how they gonna receive it, is it gonna be right? So we wait to the last minute because that clutter that I talked about in our minds, that clutter, it adds more clutter. And we have learned to push in right below our rib cage and push down past our belly button all of the fear, stress, and anxiety and worry and doubt, and act like everything is normal when it's not. The other energy, anabolic, that's where you have more choices. Remember, I told you, the first thing that I came out of my mouth is choose who you will serve. What did I say? For me and my house, I'm going to serve the Lord. Okay. That goes for me and my business. We are going to serve the Lord. So I've made that choice. But once you make that choice, there's many more choices that are going to be available to you. There's many more choices that will come your way. But this is where you're really anchored and you're confident in who you are and why you're here. Get anchored today. Live in anabolic energy where you have more choices. But a lot of times we don't have the skill set to live in anabolic energy. We often think, if I have to get a coach or if I have to go to counseling, that indicates that something's wrong with me. Reframe your mindset on that today. The people that are courageously intentional enough to know I need support, those are actually the true leaders that understand that an unbiased party can help you to navigate to your greatness, your true greatness. Now, I say that because here I am. I'm a coach. I'm certified to do this. I've got my own clients. But do you think I don't have a coach? Yes, I do. But I don't have one coach. I have four. Oh, what did she say? She got four coaches. Y'all probably thinking, well, Zondra, you going to have me broke as a joke thinking about having four coaches. But there's power in investing in you. So let me tell you my four coaches. I have a business coach. I have a life coach. I have a media coach. And I have a spiritual coach. I don't care where you are, you probably need a spiritual coach. You probably need a life coach. Because until you get your life right, you really can't do all of the things that are required of you here in this universe. So remember, two types of energy, anabolic or catabolic. 95% of the world lives in catabolic energy. Do you want to come to the anabolic side? I encourage you today to begin to serve anabolic energy. So I want to go through the 6 steps of this whole transformation journey because it is a transformation. And remember, I talked about ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. There's going to be ebbs and flows. But the first step is realization. Do you realize that you need to modify? Because I don't know if I believe totally in change. The true essence of who God made you to be, I'm not really sure about changing that, but I do believe in modifying. So let me give you this example. You could have a house that's really old. It could be 50 years old, and it's set on a really good foundation. But the house hasn't been painted in years, and there hasn't been really any improvement in the inside. In fact, there may be we've maybe painted once or twice, but nothing really genuinely different. Do you realize that you could be intentional and say, although this house is 50 years old, I'm going to put some paint on the outside. I'm going to come in the inside. I'm going to change the knobs on the cabinets in the kitchen. I'm going to paint the cabinets. I'm going to change the color of the house. And I'm going to put down hardwood floors where I've had carpet for years. The transformation is beginning. The house didn't change. It's still 50 years old. It's still set on a good foundation. But I want you to hear me say a good foundation. The realization, right? Set it on a good foundation. You don't want to change, but you want to make modifications in your life. That's really what you're trying to do. You got to release some folks. I already talked about that. You got to release because you're going to have to release some people and you have to release some things. I actually sacrificed my home. I sold my home for the vision of Zondra TV Network. Why did I do that? Because I had accepted the call and this was a divine vision. And in order for me to be able to walk in it successfully and not owe anybody, I sold my home. Are you willing to do something totally radical in order to live the life that you deserve? This has been the best journey, not without challenge, not without circumstance, but it's been the best faith walk I have ever taken in my life. Are you willing to take that walk today? And you know what? You're going to rebound. Once you start on this transformation journey, there's going to be rebound that will happen. And what is rebound? In our mind, we think about I'm rebounding. I, broke up from a boyfriend and I'm on the rebound. Is it really, change the impression of rebound today? The rebound is I'm rebounding because I'm now positioning myself for greatness. There's positioning that has to happen in order for you to serve the world your greatness. Now, the word reinvent is next. That's the 4th step, reinventing. What does that really mean? Am I going to reinvent myself? That sounds like there is a chemistry lesson getting ready to be had in a chemistry lab. Reinvent? I mean, you mean I'm going to have to reinvent myself? No. That's not the reinvention we're talking about. We're talking about reinventing, meaning what are you going to embrace in your values and your delivery? That's the reinvention, not you. You're beautifully and wonderfully made. I'm telling you, it's not you, but you're going to reinvent the things that support that. So, for example, I'm in TV. So then I have to reinvent Zondra in a TV screen. How do I do that? What do I do? There'll be some things that I'll take. Everybody knows my signature. Continue to be the absolute best you. Peace. I don't want to get rid of that. It's innately a part of who I am. So I do that on TV. So you're going to reinvent. And then you're going to go through the resurrection state. Oh my. Well, when I think about resurrection, I think about Jesus got up out the tomb in 3 days. You're going to resurrect the new you. The new you. The new you is not, you're still going to be the base of who you are. The base of who you are will remain the same, but you're going to resurrect your greatness through serving you, your unique, genuine self. Stop trying to mimic. Just be who you are. That's all that's required. Ain't nothing else required of you. Just be you. And then it's the responsive stage. How you respond actually dictates how you recover. How will you respond when people say, and I'm going to tell you, because people said it to me, you over here, doing this TV, then sold you out. Girl, you need to go get a job. And I said, God didn't tell me to. No, I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to stay on path with what I have been called to do. People going to say things. People going to not be on the same page with you. Some of the closest people, right? But how you respond dictates how you recover. And so I believe that. I preach that. I teach that. Your response dictates your recovery. And then I want to talk about the chrysalis. Because you know what? We see a butterfly and it's so beautiful, right? But do you really realize that a butterfly starts out as a chrysalis? What does that mean? It's in a cocoon and it's hanging from a tree. That's the way transformation is. When you begin this journey, you got to be protected in a cocoon to begin this transformation journey. You can't let everybody know. Because you start letting everybody know that you understand who you are and why you're here and what your vision is. Some people gonna believe it and some people gonna talk about you. So put yourself in that cocoon and it's okay. Surround yourself with people that understand the power of transformation. So as the chrysalis continues to be in the cocoon and to grow, right, through the transformation journey, guess what its next stage is before it gets to a butterfly? It is a caterpillar. So it falls out the cocoon and now it's a caterpillar and it's rolling around as a caterpillar. And then in all its glory, when it's truly ready, when it has everything lined up, it resurrects itself into a beautiful butterfly. Don't you want to be the beautiful butterfly? Well, in order to do that, you've got to transform your life. And it means that you do have to go through a stage of cocooning to understand who you are and why you're here. But I know that you have everything that you need inside of you. Are you willing today to tap in to the true greatness that you were born in this world with? Because you were uniquely and beautifully and wonderfully made. So I'm going to close with a few reminders or considerations. Listen here, manage the big stuff because the little stuff kind of don't matter. Manage the big things because in your transformation, it's going to be big things that are going to occur. Don't get sidetracked because I promise you it's easy to get sidetracked by insignificant issues. Don't let insignificant issues sidetrack you. Your values really do matter and you're going to redefine some things. And you got to get it in your spirit, in your heart, in your soul, in your mind so that you can serve it through your authenticity. You got to learn from the past, but listen, I do not want you to live in the past. Learn from the past, but don't live in the past. I tell my clients that when we begin transformation with them, I ask them to look in the rearview mirror one last time. And then I ask them to actually flip up the rearview mirror. And we keep it flipped up for a period of time. And as we grow through the transformation, eventually I'll let them put down the rearview mirror and I'll ask them, you remember that bus you pulled out in front of when you started this journey? Do you still see the bus? Or is it merely about a half an inch tall in the rearview mirror? That's what transformation does for you. It gives you distance between what was and what will be. Flip up the rearview mirror. Learn from the past, but don't live in it. And know what you know. You know what? You got to know what you know. Now, when I got into this TV thing, I only knew what I knew. God was my manager, he is still my manager, and he was the best instructor I could have ever had. But he also led me to people that would support me in this vision. So then I say this: we have believed that asking for help is it's just, that's not cool. If I ask for help, that means something wrong with me. Stop thinking that way. In fact, I want you to remove the word help from your vocabulary, because help does kind of sound weakened. Think about it. Help me, I'm poor. Help me, I can't move this piece of furniture. It feels weak, don't it? Help just has been framed in our minds as being weak. Instead, I want you to replace the word help with support. Support has strength. When you go to somebody and say, will you help me? You just kind of say it meekly. But when you go to somebody and say, would you support me in this vision that I'm trying to bear? That is so different. So remove help from your vocabulary and learn to ask for support and keep the right perspective. Because you know what? It's easy to lose the perspective and what you're really trying to do. And stop procrastinating and trying to create it as being a valuable asset and a true skill that you have to procrastinate. Stop procrastinating. Make the decision. Make the decision. And once you make that decision, don't you look back. I want you to work it. Work it with everything that you have. And don't forget, ask for support. Every good leader has many coaches. Every good team that wins in the Super Bowl have a good coach. The coach ain't in the game. The coach is on the sideline because they can see blind spots and call different runs and different plays from the sideline that causes you to win the game. There's value in that. So I want to remind you, making no decision today is the decision. Don't try to act like and reframe it to be something else. Don't try to, I'm going to wait. I don't have enough information. The decision is no. Not yet. That's the decision. Make the decision, because the more that you think that you're delaying decisions, it's the more clutter that stays in your mind. Make a decision and stay with it. Stick with it. And then last but not least, I'm going to close with transformation is a journey, but it's a worthy journey to take in your life. A lot of times we wait to the end of our lives to make that transformation happen. And so I want to encourage you today. Think about transforming your life. Think about what it takes in order to do that. And if nothing else, be courageously intentional enough to ask yourself that couple of times a day, who are you and why are you here? And when you hear the answer, then the work begins. You can't serve anyone until you understand in the universe who you will serve. And for me in my house, I will serve the Lord. And so for anybody that would like to get in contact with me, of course, I always have an offer for you. I wouldn't come here and not have an offer that's absolutely complimentary to you. If you would like to have a free, don't cost you a dime, discovery call with me, just go to beonztv.com. Be on, That's BEON, Z is in zebra, T is in Tom, V is in Victor.com, and schedule your discovery call. That discovery call could be to talk about life, leadership, transformation, or it could be to talk about TV. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here. I've made a conscious decision to serve the world, my servant leadership. And therefore, I want to be able to serve you. So get your free discovery call. And thank you so much for having me today. And listen, check out ZondraTV.com. We're on Roku, we're on Amazon Fire, and we're on Apple TV. We would love for you to see some of the amazing content that we have out there to help motivate, encourage, and inspire you to be the absolute best you. Peace.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zondra. You brought it down this morning. Thank you so much for all the nuggets that you dropped. Everybody, if you are listening, please go ahead and check her out at Zondra TV. She is amazing. And she's a woman of God that keeps giving, really keeps giving. And you always come through anytime that I call for you. So I really appreciate your friendship. I really do. Thank you so much. So I want to see if there's any question. Listen, you guys, I want to thank everyone that is joining us today. Unfortunately, I cannot. StreamYard doesn't allow me to post. I don't know what I did, but I'm not allowed to post anything. So if you can hear me, and I hope you do, just know that we appreciate you. I appreciate you for taking your time and joining us today, because that's something that I don't take lightly, because I know that you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here to join us today. So I appreciate you. If you have any questions, please do so and drop it in the comment section. I will be asking the guests to respond to your question. Unfortunately, like I said, I am not allowed to post on my own show. How is that? How bad is that? How good is that? But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us as we continue our journey for our theme today: embracing change and transformation. That's right, embracing change and transformation. So, do you I don't see anybody with a question. I don't see anybody with a question. Let me see. Oh, Anna. Okay. No, not a question. Um, Oh, they were just thanking you for being here and all that you've done this morning. And again, thanks everybody. Thank you. And I'm going to, while we are waiting for our next guest, I'm going to talk to you, right? You guys haven't really heard so much of me this morning. So I'm going to put you back in the green room while I thank you so much. I know you have a meeting to run to, so
Yes.
I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. Bye bye.